Joining me now to discuss Trump's trial is David Katz, former assistant U.S. attorney and former federal prosecutor. David, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here.
Great to be with you, Tiffany.
Now, to begin, Trump's defense team has now rested their case. The defense, of course, does not need to prove anything, but that lies with the prosecution. Trump said this morning that they have no case and that there is no crime. What is your read on the case so far? How did the prosecution do?
Well, I think the prosecution presented a pretty compelling case. I think that they were well prepared. I think they did a lot better than some skeptics thought at the beginning when the U.S. Attorney's Office did not go on this case, even under the Biden administration. And so they thought, well, if the feds shied away from it, the state was going to have a lot of trouble. But I thought that they presented a compelling case with, starting with the National Enquirer editor and then all the way through Stormy Daniels. That was controversial. And Michael Cohen, I thought, presented himself pretty well.
Now, the jury has been sent home for a week with closing arguments expected next Tuesday. In an unprecedented case like this, how important are jury instructions? How will that impact the jury's decision?
The jury instructions are critical. And one of the reasons was that if this case stays a misdemeanor, the statute of limitations has run. If all that Trump did was falsify records knowingly, he will be convicted of a misdemeanor, and then the case will be thrown out because it's no longer good under the statute of limitations. Tiffany, it has to be bumped up to a felony. And so the whole argument is it shouldn't be just some unlawful conduct. That's so vague, bumps it up to a felony. The three unlawful conducts are potentially that Trump intentionally violated state campaign finance laws. Or number two, he knowingly, intentionally violated federal campaign finance laws. Or number three, he violated federal and state tax laws. They've never had to pin the tail on the donkey in this case, and the prosecution hasn't. And so what they've argued in jury instructions is make the jury decide unanimously which of the three, all of the three. If the judge had gone that way, I think they would have had a lot of trouble unanimously agreeing. And if they do unanimously agree on this vague, unlawful conduct, that will be Trump's argument on appeal, that there should have been more specificity and less vagueness. But the judge has decided to go with the vaguer and less specific approach and accept unanimity if on merely unlawful conduct. It'll be an interesting appellate issue if he's found guilty.